Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to another video, or welcome if you're new. My name is Danielle, and today we're going to be talking about the books I have to read within the next 12 months, or I unhaul them. So where this idea for this video came from is that I have had books on my TBR for years and years and years and years that honestly I haven't even thought about. So I went back onto my old booktube channel, which yes, all the videos are still up, so if you'd like to go and cringe on my videos, you can. I will link this specific video in the iCard up here, but yeah, so anyway, I was looking for a video where it had like my entire TBR in it, and I thought I did more than one of these, but I guess I only did one. This is from like 5.5 years ago, and I went through and I watched the video, and honestly, I was going to do a like TBR reaction video, but I was reading the titles so fast that when I was doing the reaction, I was like, unhaul, unhaul, read, unhaul, like I just couldn't keep up with how fast I was like reading all the titles, so I just kind of squashed that part of the video, even though it would have been really fun. But I might do something similar and like react to book hauls that I've done in the past, because I definitely have a lot of videos with those. Without further ado, let's just get into this video. What I did is I compiled a list of all of the books that were in that video that I haven't read yet, and I figured if I haven't read them, and by the time, you know, the 12 months is over, it's gonna be 6.5 years. If I have not read these books, why do I have them? Because I've had ample time to read them and all that stuff. So I compiled the list, and out of the TBR that was like 234 books, only 40 of them were unread. And some of them were part of series where I read in front of it. I just haven't finished the series. And some of them I don't intend on reading because they're just kind of like part of our book collection, and or they're my spouse's, so I feel no obligation to read them. So without further ado, let's just get into the books that I have to read within the next 12 months, or they go bye-bye. I also took some of these books and I did try a chapter on. I actually took all of the standalones. So the requirements were they had to be a standalone, or they were the last book in a series where that was the only one I had left. So I kind of just read the first chapter just to kind of see if that's something I can like get into. So I'm gonna go over those first, and then at the end I'm just gonna go over all the other books that I need to read within 12 months. So let's go. So the first book that I read for my try chapter is The Bargaining by Carly Ann West. So honestly, the only reason why I haven't read this book before now or in this next year is because it's scary and I'm a big weenie. That's about it. So I read the first chapter, or technically it was the prologue, and honestly, the writing is super whimsical. I really, really enjoyed it, and it was very eerie. So my plan is to try and read this in not spooky season. My nerves are already amped during spooky season, so I'll probably try to read this during the summer when it's a little bit lighter and not so scary, you know? So yeah, but I gave this a 7 out of 10 for intrigue. Honestly, it would have been higher if it wasn't a scary book, but here we are. This one is about a girl who is just a troublemaker, and her family end up moving into this house that ends up being haunted, and she meets this boy named Miller, and he has a connection to the house, and she's trying to figure out like how she's connected to this creepy house, and yeah, and just all the things that go bump in the night in this house. So it's about a haunted house. I'm scared, but I will try and read it. The next book I don't have, it's actually sitting on my nightstand, and it is We Should Hang Out Sometime by Josh Sundquist. I gave this an 8.5 out of 10 for intrigue. And the reason I did is because the premise of this book is really interesting. So it is a autobiography by Josh, and it pretty much is talking about all of his failed relationships throughout the years, and how he then goes back to these women, like years and years after, you know, their failed relationship or fling or whatever it was, to ask them why it failed. And that sounds like really intriguing, right? Yeah, I will be unhauling this book when I finish it. I don't like to speak ill of people very often, but he comes off so whiny, and I understood, because it goes in chronological order of his life. So I understood when he was in middle school or whatever, just being kind of insecure about himself and just doubting everything he's saying and whatever. But then, like, he's still the same person when he's like in his 20s, and there's just no development in him at all, and I just didn't like it. So yeah, I will be finishing the book, but I will definitely not be keeping it, because I wouldn't recommend it to anybody, and I don't want it on my shelves, but I'm glad I finally read it. The next book that is on this list is This Song Will Save Your Life by Lila Sales. This book is about a girl who is just having a rough time in high school, and she ends up discovering like being a DJ, and that kind of like saves her life and stuff. So I really enjoyed the first chapter. It was really long, so it gave me a really good insight into the main character and kind of like what she's going through in high school. And I definitely relate to her as far as going through stuff in high school. So I'm really interested to see where this goes. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10 for intrigue. I'm nervous that a lot of these books are not going to hold up, because they were published years and years and years ago when books just weren't as aware of what they were doing as they are now. So I'm just keeping that in mind. So the next book that I picked up to try a chapter of was Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. This is the third book in the Anna and the French Kiss trilogy thing. I love Anna and the French Kiss and Lola and the Boy Next Door. To be fair, I haven't read them in years, so I don't know if they still stand up or whatever, but I've read Anna and the French Kiss multiple times. Like, I enjoyed that book a lot. So why I never picked up Isla, I'm not sure. Honestly, I think most of the reason is because it's not on audiobook that I have access to. So I just never got around to it, where Anna and Lola are both on audio. So I read the first chapter of this. It's a little confusing, and it kind of starts off in a weird way, but I am excited that the love interest in this is Josh, and I loved Josh from Anna and the French Kiss, so I'm really excited to see him actually get his happily ever after. I obviously don't know Isla, so obviously we'll get to know her throughout the book, but yeah, I gave this a 7.5 out of 10 for intrigue. Obviously, I love this series, and I can't imagine that Stephanie Perkins will do me wrong, so we're just gonna hope for the best on this one. The next book I picked up was Stealing Snow by Danielle Page. Honestly, I was really excited about this because I read the Dorothy Must Die series by this author and loved it. I thought it was really good, really creative. So I read the first chapter of this. It was really confusing. Yeah, I think the author was trying to do a little too much. I think instead of intriguing the reader, she just went a little too far and went into the territory of confusing. So yeah. So pretty much this is about a girl named Snow. Pretty much the first chapter sets her up that she's in a mental institution. You don't know why. And yeah, so that's all I'm gonna say, because the prologue plus the first chapter, I don't know. Okay, if you plan on reading this, skip 30 seconds, but if you don't, I'm gonna spoil it for you. In the prologue, she like sneaks away with this guy to like kiss, and they kiss, and then he breaks her hand. And then the whole first chapter is her trying to get to him to talk to him, and she has to be heavily medicated, because why would you want to talk to the dude that broke your hand? Yeah. So it was just really confusing. So I gave this a 4 out of 10. I'm nervous, and I'm actually reading this for a video. So I'm extra scared because now I know I'm not really intrigued by it. The next book is The 100 by Cass Morgan. I am debating if I'm gonna read this book. I don't know. I saw the TV show, so I know, like, I pretty much know exactly what's gonna happen and what's going on. So yeah, but for those of you who don't know, this is set in the future, and there are these people and they live up in space, and they send down 100 criminals to Earth to see if it's viable to live there. And our main character Clark is one of those people. And in the first chapter, you don't know why she's in this position or anything like that. And yeah, so she just gets sent down to Earth. I did rate this a 7.5 out of 10, but only because I've seen the show, so I kind of already know what's going on. So yeah, I'm 50-50 if I'm gonna read this. So I'm not really sure yet. The next book is Ask the Passengers by A.S. King. I've been meaning to read this. Oh, my copy's all messed up. I've been meaning to read this for a really long time, and I just never have gotten to it, so I'm glad that this video is here to light a fire under me. But this is about our main character, Astrid, and it's just her in high school. It is LGBTQIA+, which I'm really excited about. And the first chapter ended on a cliffhanger, so I'm like, So I did give this an 8 out of 10 for intrigue. I'm really excited about it, and this will probably be something I pick up sooner rather than later, but yeah, I'm excited. The next book I picked up, The Gender Game by Bella Forrest. So I am torn on this because the prologue was actually pretty good. It was pretty mysterious. There wasn't a lot of setup, so I'm just nervous. I don't know if the author was trying to keep it mysterious or if the world building just isn't good. I'm like really not sure. So I did give it a 7 out of 10 for intrigue because I'm hoping that it was just more mysterious than lacking of world building. But the reason I'm so conflicted on this is because these books used to be on Kindle Unlimited. So I was like, cool, I can read the first one, and then if I like it, I'll just read, because there's like 7 books in this series or something like that. And I'm like, I could read this, and then if I like it, I'll just read it on Kindle Unlimited. These books aren't anywhere. They're not on KU. You can't buy them on Amazon. I've tried Googling it. They do not exist on the internet. So I'm debating, like, do I even read this? Because if it's good, I don't have access to the rest of the series anyway. So let me know down below what you think I should do, because I'm really conflicted on this, and yeah, I still don't know what I'm gonna do. Because there's no point. Why would I read this first book if I can't read the rest of the series? So we'll see. The next book, As Old as Time by Liz Braswell. So this is like a Disney thing. Yeah. So the tagline on this actually is really intriguing. What if Belle's mother cursed the beast? So I'm going to read you verbatim what I wrote after reading this. I don't know if it was the prologue or the first chapter, but let me just read this to you. The writing is a little confusing. I'm sure it's something I will get used to. I don't have too many feelings either way on this book yet. So I gave it a 5 out of 10 for intrigue because I really just don't know. I think it's just something I'd have to... My goal would probably be to get like 50 to 100 pages in and then make a decision if I will continue. But yeah, I have yet to read a like retelling of any Disney things. So yeah, I'm excited to read it because Beauty and the Beast is actually one of my favorite movies. Next book I'm going to tell you right now I am not reading, but I will be keeping it for the reason that it is Disney. But that is A Frozen Heart by Elizabeth Rudnick. So yeah, I'm taking this off my TBR, but I will be keeping it. So based on the prologue that I read, it is almost exactly the book. Almost exactly. So yeah, I just didn't want to... I've seen the movie like a million times, so why would I read this. So yeah, I looked at a lot of reviews and so many people are like, this is almost word for word the movie. And even in the prologue that I was reading, it literally used like the scene where Anna goes to wake up Elsa and is like, the sky's awake, so I'm awake, so we have to play. So it was literally in here. So yeah, this will be going off my TBR, but just on my shelves to live its happy life. Maybe with kids one day we'll read it to them. I'm not sure, but yeah, this is already gone. The next book I picked up, I still really have no idea what this is about, and I want to go in that way, and that is Night Film by Marisha Pessl. I am very intrigued. I'm very intrigued by this. I was trying to see like what my rating was for it. It's a 9 out of 10. So this will probably be something I pick up sooner rather than later. All I know is that it's mixed media. It's some sort of mystery. Like, you just get cool articles and stuff like that, like the times and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really, really excited for this. It is kind of a chunker, but I'm hoping because a lot of it is mixed media that it will help it go by a little bit quicker. But yes, I'm very, very excited to read this. Hopefully catch it on a wrap up very soon. So this next book, I only read the foreword because it is just a compilation of 3 short stories, and that is Augie and Me by R.J. Palacio. So I read Wonder quite a while ago and loved it. Saw the movie, loved it. I cried. Highly recommend the movie and the book if you just need to tear up. So anyway, this is about 3 of the characters from Wonder. And so I read the foreword from the author, and she was kind of explaining like this book and why she wrote it and stuff like that, because she never intended to she never intended to write a sequel to Wonder. She loves what the fans have put together on where Augie goes after 5th grade and all this stuff. So she just feels like if she wrote a sequel, it wouldn't meet people's expectations. I feel like this will be something that I'll just like pick up randomly and read it, probably like over the summer or something. I'm not sure, but I will definitely be getting to this sometime this year. So the next book I picked up, it's actually something that I've read. I actually started the first chapter once before and I just put it down and I'm not sure why, and that is Liesl and Poe by Lauren Oliver. I love Lauren Oliver. I loved her Delirium series. Replica, no, just did not do anything for me. So, but the Delirium series is really good, and I bought this after I read the Delirium series. So this is about a girl who, her dad dies, and 3 days later this ghost from the other side comes and visits her in her room, and I'm assuming it's just like their friendship or something. So yeah, it's really cute. It has illustrations in it, which is really fun. Like, I'll show you, like, it has little illustrations. So yeah, I'll read you what I wrote. It says, I don't know if I'm jazzed about this book. The first chapter gives Cinderella vibes. Intrigue 4 out of 10. I would probably bump the intrigue up to like a 6 out of 10, honestly. It does give Cinderella vibes. She's, you know, living in an attic with her, because of her stepmother. Her stepmother wouldn't let her see her dad before he died. Her dad's now dead. So yeah, it definitely gives Cinderella vibes. I'm intrigued to read this to kind of get an understanding of what Lauren Oliver sees as like the other side or like the afterlife kind of thing. So yeah, so this will be something that I will maybe pick up. So those were all the ones that I did try a chapter on. There are 3 books on this list that are more than 3. There's a few books on this list that I have read a little bit into. I just didn't do it like during this time that I was trying doing the try a chapter thing. So I'm gonna go over those now. The first one of those is The Martian by Andy Weir. I got a few chapters in. I'm on chapter 3. So this is about a guy who gets stranded on Mars and has to survive. And honestly, I really do like the writing and I love the perspective of this astronaut, so I'm really excited to continue this, but there's no but. I'm just excited to continue this, and since I already started it, this will probably be something that I plan on reading, if not in April, in May. This next book I actually started and I'm really intrigued by it, so I don't know why I like stopped reading it, but I'm hoping that me talking about this right now will just push me into reading, to getting me to continue to read it and maybe finishing it, and that is Chasing Forgiveness by Neil Shusterman. So this is about a boy whose dad is in jail for killing his mother, and his dad then gets released from jail only 2 years later, which I find wild. Like, that's crazy. He's like battling with the emotions of, I'll never see my mom again, like my mom's dead, like you killed my mom, but also like you're still my dad and I love you, because I have all of these memories of you being like a great dad. So yeah, this is super interesting. I think it's based on a true story. I'm excited. The next book is Jack the Ripper. Oh, Jack the Ripper. So the next book is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. I did start this book. I don't have a bookmark in it because I was actually reading it on my iPad for when I was like walking at the gym, and I was really intrigued by it and I really liked the writing style, so I'm really excited to see where this goes. So this book is set in like the 1800s, I think. I could be wrong, but I believe that this is set in the 1800s, about this girl who is an apprentice to her uncle who is a coroner, I believe, and her and this guy team up and just like try to solve the mystery of this guy who is essentially just like Jack the Ripper kind of thing. The next book that I have read the first chapter of is I Am the Messenger by Marcus Zuzak. I love The Book Thief. The Book Thief is probably in my top 3 favorite books of all time. Don't ask me what the other 2 are because I'm not really sure, but The Book Thief I think of often, and I definitely want to do a reread soon. But anyway, I Am the Messenger. That's why we're here. This is about a guy who inadvertently stops a robbery, and as soon as that happens, he receives like an ace from a deck of cards, and he now has to like go out on these missions for this mystery person, and he's like helping but also hurting people, and he just like doesn't know like who's behind it. So yeah, it's actually really intriguing. The first chapter is a little bit stale, but from rereading the back of the book, this premise is actually really intriguing, so I'm actually really excited to get to it. So the next books that I haven't read anything on them. I don't know, like I'm just gonna mention them really quick. I'll give you more in-depth reviews, but then also explanations of them in other videos. So we're just kind of gonna rapid fire these last ones just because I really don't have a lot of thoughts on them, and in some of them I don't even know what they're about because I haven't read the back of the book in a really long time. So the first one is The Phantom Tollbooth by Norton Juster. No idea what this is about. I don't even know when and where I bought this. So, but it's here, it's on my TBR. The next books, yes, books, are part of a series, Vampire Academy. So I still have the last 4 to go. So Shadow Kiss, Blood Promise, Spirit Bound, and Last Sacrifice. I don't know, we'll see. The next 2 books are part of a trilogy as well, and I read the first book a very, very long time ago, so I'm either gonna have to reread it or find somewhere that it like sums it up. But I remember loving the first book so much, so I might just reread it just to like get myself back in the story. But the first book is The Winner's Curse. This is The Winner's Crime and The Winner's Kiss. I honestly don't remember what it was about. I just remember that it was super political and I really, really enjoyed it. Next 2 that I have to read, I only have one of them with me. The other one is in the other room and I'm too lazy to go get it, to be completely honest. And that is Heir of Fire and Queen of Shadows. We'll see. These things are so big and intimidating. I do really enjoy this series, so we'll see. The next one that I have is the first book in a series, but I don't own any of the other series, so I don't know. I might actually just unhaul this because it has just been sitting on my shelves for so long and I haven't picked it up, and that is Unremembered by Jessica Brody. This is about a girl who is in a plane crash and she's the only one who survives and like doesn't remember anything. That's basically the premise. So I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I'll read it, maybe I won't. And the last two are duologies, so hopefully something I can get through. So I'm also going to use the rule that if I can read the first book in these series, I can keep them. I'm not gonna get rid of the second one if I read the first one. So I at least have to get through the first book or like the next book in the series to be able to keep the series. So that's kind of because I feel like this is just a lot of stuff I need to read, and I also have other things that I want to read as well. So anyway, the duology that I'm talking about is Wolf by Wolf and Blood for Blood. So all I know about this is that it's an alternate reality that is what if Hitler won the war, and where the world would be if that is what happened. Last but not least is The Wrath and the Dawn and The Rose and the Dagger, both by Renee Audier, and this is a retelling of I can't remember the name of the story, but it's about the king who takes a bride, and by morning the bride is dead kind of thing. So this girl goes to infiltrate and try to figure out like why these girls are dying and all this stuff. So yeah, I'm actually really excited about this. My spouse read these and really liked them, so I will hopefully get to them. Anyway, so those are all the books that I have to read before April, let's see, what's today's date? Before April 23rd of 2024. So please cross your fingers for me. Let me know if any of these books that I mentioned are something I should put on the top of my priority list. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I will catch you next Monday with another book video, and don't forget, you the best.